Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a paper which I wrote for an introduction to art history, and I'm just going to forge ahead and record this video reading it. This course in art history methods has been the single most challenging course I have ever taken. I am overwhelmed by the deceptively simplicity of terms such as form, style, and avant-garde. Simultaneously, I am intrigued by the conjunction of art with philosophy. I perceive that the visceral is mirrored by the cerebral, just as the physical corresponds to the metaphysical. Has art through the eons always posed such a challenge to the casual observer? Have casual observers always viewed avant-garde works as a matter of not knowing exactly what attracts them, but knowing what they like when they see it? This is what Rosalind Krauss seems to be illustrating when she uses algebra in the sign of x plus y equals xy in her paper, The Motivation of the Sign. It seems that this question can be universally applied to all art forms, except for one notion of aesthetic, the application of the Spartan. I say this because in the debate of which came first, the form or the function in folk art, and particularly in radical Protestant art of North America, for example, the Shakers, Quakers, Calvinists, and Puritans, cleanliness of line and simplicity is integrated as a statement with the mundane function that said object performs. The notion of these qualities being desirable is far from being Americentric. Even the Eastern concepts of Zen Buddhism seem to have had a great impact on contemporary art. For example, concept art, minimalism, Gutai, abstract expressionism, than say the works of the European masters of Vasari. It may seem inconsequential in the overview of art history deliberation, but with regard to a multidisciplinary focus in the analysis of art, where are the delineations between theosophical, philosophical, and varying reflections of the same historical events? Is Zen cited in observations of the genesis of so many contemporary art styles because of an allure for its impenetrable quixotic root? Perhaps this contingent vicissitudinousness is drawn upon as a reflection of our increasingly changing world and the desire for combined control and simplification. The multilateral nature of art, be it object or act, is ideally inclusive of both those who have no need to ruminate upon the spectacle and those who devote their whole being towards internalizing the meaning beyond said spectacle. It is a temptation to imitate Plato, to simply cast off any strivings toward an ultimate imperfection to be manifested and disavow the power of thought being made real here on earth. Certainly, dissatisfaction, the yearning to excel, can be sated if a human so wishes, and they could exist in satori, a state of balance and malaise. Humanity would lose the push and shove against strife which is necessary to fuel the passion of yearning for and attaining more than those who came before in any field could ever imagine. With regard to the relativity as to what constitutes the height of beauty, the answer must come forward in a subjective form, since the question is posed likewise, hearkening back to the Rosalind Krauss article already mentioned. I believe the clearest definition is one which centers on the notion of contrast, in the same way as our solar system expands outward as it simultaneously maintains pockets of centrifugal force. In order to maintain subjective, individualistic points of view concerning human endeavors, the counterpoint must be equally subjective, which, taking into account such huge variables in variety, can only mean that aesthetic beauty is determined by its corresponding partner, the contrast of objection. Abjection. In the case of Winckelmann's reverence for the neoclassical, taking into account his like-minded preceding and subsequent revisionist compatriots, their own contemporaneous events have been determined by Winckelmann and others who reached back in time to gain inspiration for moving forward as being for them the epitome of objection. In this concoction of a cacophony of influences or multiple zeitgeists, the revered ideal becomes a concocted amalgam of the past. However, I cannot agree that this eliminates the occurrence of innovation. There is always something new under the sun when viewed by new eyes and presented in distinctive ways. Even a good forgotten idea a good idea forgotten loses no pardon me, even a good idea forgotten loses no credence as a good idea. Ideas which have the power to be made into reality, which could bring concern to the likes of Plato, must be worthy of human contemplation indeed. The discipline of art history is a vast ocean, and like an ocean, the numerous approaches to its depths can overwhelm even a devoted sailor. Ocean. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing and liking this video and sharing it. It means so much to me. And I will be back on in a little bit with a new paper for all of you. Thank you so much and take care. Many blessings.